Bitter criticism this morning. There was two dogs. Two those dogs. We have seen them a lot of times before, but this time they show up, and they maybe come back anytime. So you never know with Tommy. You never know. Hey, so I just saw that Iran has strike again. We will see in Al Jazeera. Breaking. I guess this is not updated. Breaking. Sirens sounds across Israel amid Iranian missile attacks. Israel continues attacks on Iran as almost 80 killed, over 300 injured. Three people killed in Israel, dozens injured in Iranian missile strikes. $80 killed by Israel in Iran. 3 people killed in Israel, dozens injured. Just 3. Can you see Israel is winning? By this time, Israel is winning. 80 people killed in Iran. I saw too, Russia likely, Russia kind of supported Iran, but we will see all this. Al Jazeera TV English, live news and current affairs. Live updates. Israel and Iran trade fire for second day as death toll rises. US President Donald Trump says not too late for Tehran to halt bombing campaign by reaching a deal on nuclear program. By Umud Uras, Usaid Siddiqui, Afsa Adil. June 13th. Oh, just remember, there's a guy that always runs here Saturday morning, yeah. So I'm not going to stay here 1 hour. The summary: Iranian missiles hit sites across Israel, killing at least 4 people and injuring dozens in retaliation for ongoing Israeli attacks on Iran. The great news, I guess, is that finally the world could see how is all these missile attacks looks like. My opinion, it was beautiful, but nothing, you know. War is always there. There will be always war. Fortunately, we had these images. Iran says Israel has killed at least 78 people, including women and children, and wounded more than 320 others, as the Israeli military continues to launch strikes on cities, military sites, and nuclear facilities. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned Israel it quote unquote must expect severe punishment. This is not news. This is the summary from 2 days ago. 1 to 2 days ago. Following the quote unquote crime of attacking Iran and killing several top-level military commanders and 6 nuclear scientists. There's another CGTN video. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the military operation will continue as long as necessary. The United States has tried to distance itself from Israel's onslaught while warning Iran against attacking American bases in the region. And that was the summary. There's a new live update, but I'm just going to read right now the updates. Saturday 14. You know, in Latin countries like Brazil, there's a superstition. There's plenty of superstitions, but there's this one that says Friday 13 is a bad luck date, a bad luck coincidence. Who knows? Yeah, you better don't believe in schizophrenia or superstition. A few seconds ago, quote unquote, cut ties with Israel. Pakistan pledges support for Iran. A global south against Israel. Do you believe this will be a World War III? A World War III between the rich versus the poor. That would be funny. Pakistan expressed its full support for Iran and called for, quote unquote, Muslim unity against Israel in the aftermath of the ongoing attacks. Quote, we stand with Iran and will support them at their international forum to protect their interests. End quote. Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Asif said during his address at the National Assembly. Quote, Israel has targeted Iran, Yemen, and Palestine. If Muslim nations don't unite now, each one of them will face the same fate. Pakistani leaders are saying this. Khawaja Asif. Very nice. I don't remember now, but Pakistan has issues with maybe China. I don't remember. India, yeah. With India. What about India? Yeah, India is a trader. India is a global south trader. It's just like Brazil. Brazilians, you cannot rely on Brazilians for geopolitical affairs. And neither Chileans, you know. You cannot rely on, well, these people over here, they are all traders. As you can see, Milud over there, I guess. Hello. He urged all Muslim nations to, quote, immediately cut ties with Israel, end quote, and called for Organization of Islamic Cooperation to convene an urgent session to formulate a joint strategy. Asif said Pakistan has deep ties with Iran and Islamabad, quote, stands by Tehran in this difficult time, end quote. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Isaac Dar called the Israeli attack on Iran, quote, a brazen violation of Iran's sovereignty, end quote. Pakistan and Iran share a 750 kilometers, 466 miles border in Pakistan's southwest and Iran's southeast. Yeah, it's interesting because Pakistan, in fact, they have issues with India. I guess India just doesn't care about Iran. And there's a photograph, a demonstration against Israel's strike on Iran in Skardu in Pakistan's mountainous Gilgit-Baltistan region. 5 minutes ago, This is also Saturday, June 14, 5 minutes ago. Iranian forces claim to have downed an Israeli warplanes. Iran's army says its air defense system hit another Israeli F-35 fighter jet. Citing the Army's public relations department, IRNA news agency said the incident occurred in the country's west. The pilot reportedly ejected from the jet, but this current whereabouts remain unknown. Whereabouts? Yeah. Israeli army spokesman Avichai Adrae denied, quote, fake publications by Iranian media outlets that the Iranian military succeeded in shooting down Israeli fighter jets. And there's a photograph, an Israeli F-35 flying two fighter jet. 10 minutes ago, Egypt. Israeli strikes on Iran can push the region into chaos. Egypt's foreign minister Badr Abdelati denounced Israel's strikes on Iran as a, quote, quote unquote, serious escalation that could push the region to a, quote, a state of instability and chaos, end quote. Abdelati's comments came in phone calls with his Italian and Spanish counterparts. The Egyptian Foreign Ministry said in a statement, Israel's military said its fighter jets are resuming striking targets in Tehran. Quote unquote, the way to Iran has been paved. The military's chief of staff was quoted as saying in a statement, the army, quote, is proceeding according to its operational plans, end quote. 20 minutes ago, France increases security around Jewish U.S. sites. What? Around Jewish U.S. sites. What the hell is this? The move is a result of the heightened conflict between Israel and Iran, according to a domestic order by the Interior Minister. Quote unquote, special vigilance must be given, quote, to all sites that could be targeted by terrorist or malicious acts by a foreign power, end quote. Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau said in a message to French regional security chiefs, security should be boosted near, quote, places of worship, schools, state and institutional buildings, sites like high traffic, end quote, including, quote, festive, cultural or religious gatherings, end quote. France, but all this is in France or what? The order applied also, quote, to, quote, Israeli and U.S. interests, as well as to establishment in the Jewish community, end quote. France is home to the biggest Jewish community in Europe. Interesting. So those are the facts. Interesting facts about geopolitics. France is the biggest Jewish community in Europe. 39 minutes ago, nuclear talks with U.S. as double-edged sword. Quote unquote, double-edged sword. Iranian political analyst Hamed Mousavi says the nuclear talks between Iran and the United States are akin to a, quote unquote, double-edged sword as Israel continues its attacks. Quote, on one hand, Iran does not want to shut down any diplomatic avenue with the Americans as for this war to stop. The only path is a very diplomatic solution in which the Americans will probably play a very big role. end quote. He told Al Jazeera. Quote, at the same time, Iran doesn't want to continue the negotiations leading up to a nuclear deal that were ongoing for the past 2 months, end quote. Mousavi said it will be just one second. Mousavi said it will be, quote unquote, meaningless to carry on with the negotiations while Iran remains, quote unquote, under attack. Quote, the Trump administration keeps saying that we set a 60-day deadline, which passed, and then the Israelis were able to attack. Quote, the original nuclear deal took 2 years to negotiate, so if the Americans are really trying to negotiate in good faith, they have to give this time. Trying to bomb Iran into submission will have a reverse effect, end quote. There's a photograph. People hand out signs during a protest against Israeli strikes on Iran in New York. Oh, supporting Iran, I guess. No US-Israel war on Iranian. Yeah. Nice signs. No war. New live update. A few seconds ago, Strait of Hormuz closure under review by Iran state media. The closure of the strategic Strait of Hormuz is being seriously reviewed by Iran, according to local media reports quoting statements by Ismail Kosari, a member of the Parliament's Security Commission. The Strait of Hormuz, which lies between Oman and Iran, is the world's most important gateway for oil shipping. Oman and Iran. Yeah, that's why oil skyrocketed and gold too. Even the suggestion of such a move has already sent shockwaves through global markets, and the prices of oil has risen. Quote, Israel has refrained from hitting in any severe fashion the oil infrastructure of Iran. Should that change, that will obviously have a much more dramatic impact, end quote. Tawfiq Rahim, an independent geopolitical strategist, told Al Jazeera. And there's a photograph. Iran Strait of Hormuz, the 39 kilometers, 24-mile strait, is the world's most important oil passageway, forming a checkpoint between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. It is the only route to the open ocean for 1/6 of global oil production and 1/3 of the world's LNG. Just trying to catch the last one. 1 hour ago, finally. Watch. Preemptive strike? This is a question. Preemptive strike. The media and Israel's attack on Iran. Israel has launched an unprovoked assault on Iran, including strikes on nuclear facilities and assassination of several senior military commanders and scientists. In front of the world's media, however, the Netanyahu government is spinning the attack as quote-unquote preemptive. Who cares? Yeah, this is a conflict here. Nobody knows, That could be preemptive in effect. Hey, Milu. Milu just saw a friend in the other side of the road. There's a video, but I'm not going to read it. Media outlets amplified Israel's narrative about its attack on Iran. Also, 1 hour ago, UK alarm UK, quote unquote, alarmed by further strikes in Israel-Iran conflict. Foreign Secretary David Lammy says his country is, quote unquote, alarmed by events that took place overnight in the Israel-Iran conflict. Quote, alarmed by further strikes in the Middle East overnight with reports of fatalities and injuries in Israel, end quote. He said, quote, we must urgently de-escalate and prevent any further harm to civilians, end quote. Lamy said, adding he spoke to his Iranian counterpart, Abbas Araghchi, quote unquote, to urge calm. And 1 hour ago also, Iran must, quote unquote, protect its command and control. Anyway, so I don't know what's really happening. Maybe Al Jazeera is not so great. Maybe Al Jazeera is not saying what's going on. Or what I saw is that Iran is striking again. And